Tower on the UN Drive. From the
Take me back to Liberia, where the drums still play my song. Take me back to my homeland. It's the place where I belong.
LIB Future TV, giving voice to progressive Liberians, speaking about politics, entertainment, and local news.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Monday edition of LIB Future TV. I'm your humble host, Michael Padmore. I'm here with my great producer, Tuza. We're going to have a great show. This will be our first show after the 26th celebration. So we're going to do a lot of talking. We're going to talk about Liberia today. We're going to talk about our humble past, our humble beginnings. We're going to talk about how we treaded throughout our beginning and how we formed a nation. We're going to talk about our rumbles through the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. We're going to talk about Civil War. We're going to talk about post-war. We're going to talk about where we are today. And of course, we'll talk about our future, where we hope to go. So stay with us. You're going to have an exciting show. Share, please, if you're on social media, share the show. And if you're listening by radio, please go ahead and pull somebody closer, turn up your volume, and let's get started, okay? You know, usually we start off traditionally with our news cast for the first part of the show, but our sister is off tonight. Lavetta is off tonight, so we're just going to roll in and get things started. All right. So all over the world, including the great state of Minnesota, including the great county of Bambassa, all over the world, we saw Independence Day celebration. And you know, we like people, we know how to celebrate. Just get all recent. Like, we're just looking for an excuse to celebrate. We will celebrate for you. Okay? So we saw a lot of celebration. But it makes one wonder, you know, what are we celebrating about? What are we celebrating for? Some people like to look at it as the glass half full, and others like to look at it as the glass half empty. For those who who are optimistic and look at the glass half full, they're celebrating how far we've come as a nation. That we are all survived today. That Liberia remains an independent nation, and you know, and great things are ahead. You know, the thing about whether you call it war, whether you call it a lack of development. I own a parcel of land. I've never developed that land, right? Many years ago, somebody came to me with the idea. They said, "My man, let's put one shop here." Then about 10 years ago, we now did it. Then about 10 years ago, somebody asking me, "Say, my man, you know what's going right now in the country, eh? That apartment. Let's put one apartment here. It will be correct." Then 2 years ago, somebody approached me and said, "My man, you hear they say they are expanding the road in the area, right? They coming turning the road from 2 lane to 4 lane. They put one store here." And I was like, wow, that's a great idea. Store will bring good bit of money to me and my family. But then I started thinking, I said, wow, so if I had put an apartment building here, I'm not going to be able to put a store there. If I followed the last person, you know, and just put something else there, I'm not going to be able to put a store there. So you see, the funny thing about lack of development is that you always have a blank slate from which to build. And so that has some people look at Liberia and say, look, we struggle, we got a lot of challenges and all those things, and we're way behind, but at least we have the opportunity to build. And then there are people who are pessimistic and they look at it from a whole different point of view and say, look, we are 179 years old. No nation on the continent of Africa can boast of that. When you see the Nigerian people passing around talking about, hey, Nigerian independence, they talk about 60. Oh, we are now 60 years old. When you hear the Ghanaians talking about independence, yes, Charlie, it's our time, it's our independence. How old are they? They are in the 60 range. Yeah, we are 60 years. Come on. When Liberia talks about independence, we're not in the 60 range. We're not even in the 70. We're not even in the 100 range. 179. I play with air. We can take Nigeria, we multiply by 3. I play with air. But then we look around us and we say, what have we done with 179 years? What have we done? I want to make it even more interesting. What are we trying to do? What are we planning to do after 179 years? What are we doing? What are we planning to do? Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? Can somebody tell me where we're going? Wow. So that's what we want to talk about. That way, we'll put a whole kinja down here. Where are we going? After 179 years. We still celebrate. Let me not jump in front. We can't harvest the rest. First. No. First, we gotta clear the farm. So let's start by clearing the farm. Okay. So we all know the story, even though some people have tried to twist the story. Okay. But we all know the story. Our ancestors who are living on the Green Coast, who started trading with the Portuguese, with the Spanish, with the Arabs. We traded with the Arabs by land. We traded with the Portuguese and the Spanish by sea. We traded in grain. We traded in tobacco. We traded in alcohol. We traded in oil. We traded in, when I say oil, I'm talking about cooking oil, right? Palm oil. We traded in palm oil. We traded in spices. Before Africa introduced spices, it was a tasteless world. Okay? All they knew of pepper and salt. We came with spices, variegated pepper. They couldn't even understand it, they couldn't even comprehend it. But that's what we came with. And we traded in those things for hundreds of years. Somehow, some way, we went for trading in commodities, in spices, in green, in tobacco, in soap, and we ended up trading in human beings. We ended up trading our brothers and sisters. It is a harsh reality that we as Africans, especially on the West Coast, must accept. The white man did not come to the coast, march into the hinterland, raid villages, and then march people 2 days walk to the coast and put them on ship. We must confront our own past, that we play a significant role in the slave trade. We captured our brothers, we brought them to the coastline, and we sold them to the white man. We did it. And they left. They vanished. They got on the ships and they vanished. And about 200 years later, they appeared. They look a little different. Some of them look light skin, they look little light skin. Some of them talk different. Some of them came with a bow, Some of them came with talk about government. What is that? We have ruled ourselves for hundreds of years. What is this thing about country and government? But they came with these strange ideas. We're not always accepting, we're not always welcoming of them, right? We fought against it a lot. And they fought back. I had a strange conversation with another librarian 2 days ago. 2 days ago. And I was playing the devil's advocate because I wanted to hear his thought process. But I was like, my man, just imagine, right? You living in your powerhouse. Somebody come, they capture you from your powerhouse, they tie you, they carry you, and they sell you to somebody. You go for 20 years. After 20 years, you find your way back. When you reach back to your powerhouse or in your part town, they say you are a stranger here. This is not your town. This is not your land. You don't belong here. What would you do? He said, man, they will kill me for it. I will fight for my place. I said, you see, now you are looking at it from the other people's point of view. When the people came back to Africa, you see the thing about black people? The only place that we call home is Africa. The skin color brings you back to Africa. So no matter where you find yourself in the world, whether it take 20 years or it take 300 years, when you look at your skin, your home is the continent of Africa. And when you find your way back to Africa, who will tell you not belong? So, but anyway, it was just a conversation we had. And we know of the skirmishes they had, the bitterness. And then somehow these returnees formed a government, formed a country. And I don't know whether it was out of fear, whether they were ill-advised. I don't get to say that. The president was ill-advised. I don't know whether they were ill-advised, but they decided that they would somehow try to dominate the majority. I was not there. I don't know the exact circumstances that they faced, that they took such a foolish decision. Because it doesn't matter whether you are talking about Liberia, whether you are talking about South Africa, whether you are talking about Rwanda, whether you are talking about Iran, it doesn't matter where you are talking about. But throughout human history, the minority has always tried to suppress the majority. It works. It works, but only for a period of time. Somewhere in that pendulum, somewhere in that quantum of time, the majority realized that, hold up, we the majority. People can no longer suppress us, and they rise up. They rise up. So, like I said, I don't know what we're going through here. Maybe they were not aware of history. Maybe they were not aware of the end of this. For what you think, say you come to a place 43,000 square miles, and you just a small group of people, and you think that somehow you will suppress the majority until Jesus Christ comes. No. The day you decided to suppress the majority, it will already sit now in front waiting for you. If anybody asks me, I can tell them, I say, I don't know why it took that long from 1822 to 1980. Why it took that long for the majority to realize that these small group of people cannot. I don't care where they get. You can bring a Tommy Bonser. You cannot suppress the majority of people. You can't. But anyway, like I said, I was not there. I don't know the circumstances they face. I don't know the fears they face. I don't know. I can only sit down here and speculate, right? Now, some people might say, man, some people are just going to come and say, okay, you know what happened? Let everybody come, let everybody vote. I said, we're not going to win one election. He said, yeah. He said, but then how are we going to get to where we are right now? I said, man, I can't tell you that. I just tell you what the people did, why they did it. But Liberia was born, right? Liberia was born, and we all know Liberia was a much bigger country. We were halfway into Sierra Leone. The Nimba Mountain Range, the mountains that run through Nimba into Guinea, the entire mountain range was Liberian. The entire range was Liberian. The island in the sky was Liberian. The French came and took half of it. When you go to Sierra Leone, half of Sierra Leone for the Mana River. Mana River not the boundary. The Mana River just became a natural boundary because the British decided to stop to that river. The same thing with the Kavala River. Was deep. Sassandra for Liberia. Yes, that beautiful town in Arico for Liberia. That Liberia property, that Liberia land. But we all know the shrinkage is happening, and we all know how the French and the British play into that. But somehow we secure our 43,000 square miles, right? And we started to build. And we ran into the Coleman years, we ran into the Barclay years. We saw the expansion of Liberia when it comes to returnees through the Daniel Warner years, and then we enter into the Todman years, right? When they did the open door policy, and now we started to see mining companies come into Liberia. Because before the only thing that was here was Firestone. But then we started to see mining companies coming to Liberia. We started to see real money flow in Liberia now. We started to see real money flow into Liberia. And then, of course, Todman ruled for so many years. I'm at 27 years. Todman ruled for. I think 1944 to 1971. And I will. Tuzon, one thing I want to do today, right? I want to do a giveaway.
Okay.
I want to do a giveaway. I will ask 3 questions. Okay? And when we open the lines, I want people to answer those questions. I will give 2 first. If they can answer the first 2, then I will give the third one. You are they only have to answer 1 question. And for that 1 question that you answer, okay, you will get a $10. What we're gonna do is that we'll do cards, okay? We'll get in data, okay? And so what we'll do is we'll not make it small. We're not making no $1. We're not doing $1 card here, okay? We'll do, if you can answer the first question, you get $2 $5. So that $10 card you get. You lock for the entire week, okay? So there you go. So we'll ask the first 2 questions, and then after the first 2 questions, if people answer the first 2, then I will post the tier 1. Okay. So, but while we're in the Todman years, right? Todman, we all know Todman grew the economy. Todman was this man, that man. Todman brought presidents to Liberia. Todman brought the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth, to Monrovia. Okay. And then of course, unfortunately, sadly, he contracted, illness, and he passed away in London. And so the first question out there for you, listen carefully, and we'll repeat again. The first question: what was Todman's last words? That's the first question. Before Todman passed away, what was Todman's last words? So, y'all go look. I haven't searched for it on the internet before. I don't know if it is there, but I know this because I don't live long time, so I know the one. But anyway, that's the first question. If you can answer that question when we open the lines, you'll get $2 $5 scratch card. All right. Okay, so Todman passes, and excuse me. his vice president, William R. Tolbert, takes over. In the beginning, people are very apprehensive. The foreman was there for 27 years. The deputy didn't take over. They won't know that another 27 years. But people who lived during that time, who I speak with, they gave a very different impression. They said Todd was the total opposite from Todman. They couldn't understand how Todd lasted that long as VP for Todman when it was so different. Todd was progressive. He was like, no, we need to move the country forward. We need to bring people together. We need to raise, they got a saying, right? When you raise the tide, when you raise the water, all the boats in the water will rise up at the same time. Right? So you don't build bigger boats. You don't build massive boats. What you do is you raise the water, you raise the tide, and then everybody rise up. That how Toward look at it. It ain't matter whether your knee, you get Congo knee, you get what kind of knee. No. You Liberian from mat to mattress. I don't know if people have heard that saying before. From mat to mattress. That means will take you from point A to point B. You will not come be president, you be on the mat. The president say finish, you stay on the mat. No. You must move from mat to mattress. Important where that on a mattress. No. It's a step. Because guess what? If you move from mat to mattress, then you get the ability to move from mattress to bed. Right? Then you add a dresser and a wardrobe to it. That's looking. But you must move. And mat to mattress is an upward trajectory. You're not moving down. You're not going into poverty. You must be lifted up. And that happens when you lift everybody up. So that was this guy where everybody wondered, wow, that man, how did that man talking? The man walk out again, one money, man say, you know happy? We're too dependent on Pusawa. So my next question is, where the word Pusawa come from? I never see Pusawa written on any bag of red before. Yeah, we call it Powerball, we call it a bottle red, we get all kind of name for it. But in my 50 years looking at rest, I know one day look at bag of red and only get Pusawa. So where the word Pusawa coming from? Okay. All right. So that's the second question. Then, tragically, April 14 happened. The rice riots. Even up to today, almost 50 years later, people still have conflicting stories, conflicting accounts of what really happened. They told us say that he was going to take over the rest. They told us say that he was going to suffer the people by raising the rest price. And on that morning, the tower tried to calm the people. On that morning, the tower instruct security forces to fire on innocent civilians. Nobody knows what really happened. What do we really know? One, we know that was almost 50 years ago, and we're depending on foreign countries to feed us. What do we really know? Today, 50 years later, we're still depending on foreign countries to feed. When that ship don't come to the port, problem in Liberia. The people that control your stomach control you. Liberians realized that 50 years ago, the president we have 50 years ago understood that process. You see, as long as foreigners feeding us, as long as foreigners controlling our stomach, they will always control us. 50 years later, we still in the same predicament. We have not moved from mat to mattress. We have not. I mean, we try, but we have not. So, when I was a very young kid during that time, 1979, 1980, for a very long time, I used to put the two occurrences together as one event, which is very ironic. Because a lot of people look at it as one event. April 14, 1979 to April 12, 1980. They are so connected. I thought it was one event. I thought it was one because there was confusion, there was gunfire, there was destruction, there was chaos. So in my young mind, I saw everything as one event. As I got older, before I started to understand, oh no. They won't happen first. And then this will happen second. But we saw 1980 happen. We saw the military take over. We saw people put on the pole 8 days later. 8 days later. April 22, 1980. And we saw people executed. We heard familiar words. Rampant corruption. Rampant corruption. Rampant corruption. Almost 50 years later, we are still whispering those words. Rampant corruption. So we move into the 80s. Military rule. Decree 88A. The people that got missing in Liberia behind Decree 88A, that's small thing. When they put that other charge behind you, they know your own fini, your business fini right there. Decree 88A, I would never forget it that die. They're just certain things that just stick with you. The trauma of it just stick with you. No matter how far you go in left. Decree 88A. But somehow we made it to elections. We made it to the Second Republic. People don't call Liberia the Second Republic again. But in 1985, Liberia was reintroduced as the Second Republic. We had a new constitution written and delivered to the people. We had new elections. We had a new civilian government that was, occupied by ex-military, but they had retired. They called themselves civilians, and they had inserted into that constitution a phrase, a clause, they don't call it phrase, a clause that said that everything we did before 1985, we can now be prosecuted for it. And they inserted that into the constitution. Everything we did, we are covered. General amnesty. If you are sincere in your actions, why do you have to declare amnesty? Think about it. If you were sincere in your actions, you wouldn't declare. You never saw Jerry Rawlings one day get and declare amnesty. No, you never saw it. You never saw Blaise Compaoré declare amnesty. No. These people felt genuine in their actions. But somehow we got to it. We had elections. There was a lot in those elections. Jesus. I remember elections, today we have NEC, right? National Election Commission. We had NEC. We had NEC back then. The Election Commission, we had it back then. But somewhere in the middle of a hole, the national election was set aside. And they brought in the Special Election Commission. Second. And second was ran by Emmett. Where's Emmett last name? Ooh, the man is slipped from my mind. Ooh, I will get it back. Emmett Hammond. Emmett Hammond ran those elections. Still remember, Leslie Gator. He ran those elections and announced the former Master Sergeant turned Brigadier, then now he was Brigadier, then he drew all the way up to 5-star General Samuel Kanyando, winner, and his party the National Democratic Party of Liberia, winners of those elections. The dust now is settled. November 12 rolled in. An old nemesis showed up. Thomas Kwiwonkpa. And it got labeled the invasion, the November 12th invasion. It was called invasion because he brought with him some Cubans, the tall, light-skinned guys. And so, because the Cubans were not Liberians, so the government at that time named it an invasion. So we're being invaded by Cubans. But like many attempted coups before then, you know, what we're talking about, we're saying, and all the other people before then, that particular coup, right? When you have a 2 o'clock in the afternoon, everything 10. That's where that terminology came from. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, everything 10. We woke up that morning to General Kwiwonkpa at LBS, announcing, and I will never forget this word, this phrase. He said, Samuel Kanyando is on the run, and there is no escape for him. I was a young kid at that time, but that phrase left in my mind when he said that. 2 o'clock, the national anthem played, and Samuel Kanyando's voice came on the radio, and everything changed. Many people, some innocent, some not so innocent, lost their lives in the next 24 hours. People were taking out personal vendettas. If there was somebody who was a thorn to your flesh, there was somebody who had done something to you, if there was somebody who you did not like, it was in those moments that you took revenge. And all you had to do was just to point that person on and say, oh, that man was celebrating. And now all it needed to be done. And people disappeared. Many people in the country disappeared. We got through that. We got to inauguration. And we moved on as a country. There were many coup attempts afterwards. One famous one was the Flanzameton one. Before the war, there were these Mitsubishi Jeeps that the government bought that we renamed, as Liberians, we renamed 50 caliber. So when you open it up, looking at the Mitsubishi Jeep, and we call it 50 caliber, I will get a name from. Because as the story went, Flanzameton, who was somehow related to Nancy Doe, decided he was going to kill the president. And so when the president was returning to the mansion early that morning, I don't know, nobody knew where the president went at that day. That other story right there. But you're returning to the mansion early that morning, and Flanzameton opened fire on him for M16 rifle. And when he couldn't go, he ran to the hut and he opened fire with a 50 caliber. And a single bullet went through President Doe's hat. The way President Doe used to wear a hat, he used to put the hat on his head fully. He just used to rest it on top. And he showed the cap where he said a single bullet burned through the cap on the top. Just about a few inches over his head. Burned through the cap. Flanzameton was captured. He was tried. And it is said that he was found guilty and executed. Whether he really was executed, nobody really knows. But anyway, that was the story. We moved on. And then Christmas morning, we started to hear little rumbles. Oh, something happening, you. Something happening, you. And I jump over a lot of stuff, people. I jump over the university. And it's not because it's not important. But we have a show. If we tell Liberia history, we'll be here till tomorrow. Right? So I jump over the university raid of August 22nd, I believe 1982. I jumped over the Nima raid. You know, there were several Nima raids. There was a Nima raid after 1984. There was a Nima raid after 1985. They almost every time something happened in the country, they blame the Nima people, they blame the Geo people, and they send trucks of army people to Nima. And but Christmas morning, we started getting little rumbles. I knew a couple of friends that worked at the Ministry of Defense. They came to say, my man, something going on. But what cook now? We used to that thing, man. But I get another noise, man. How long? Maybe 1 week. Those suppress that thing there. We'll go by where it's coming from. 1 week, then the 2 weeks, 2 weeks, then the 2 months. All of a sudden, we start hearing about Botuo. Can't play. We start hearing play. We never hear about your whole life before. Botuo. Can't play. We start hearing about the places. Saclé Pied. If you're not from Nima before, you knew the places. Now, all the people that are over the age of 40 know those names. And then we heard Ganta. When Ganta fell, everybody pay attention. Then Banga fell. And then school closed. And everybody just waited to see these people come to Montreal. Those who could leave, left. Support left by air, support left by sea, support left by road, but people left in droves. So all were there, we saw the whole thing from beginning to end. And we saw, regrettably, we saw the worst of Liberians. We saw the very worst of Liberians. For a young person to experience that was very traumatizing. To see human being be that wicked to another human being. To see human being, to see brothers. Because I'm sorry, if you Bassa in our crew, we brothers. If you Gio in our crown, we brothers. We all come from under the same banana tree. Okay? To see those things, very disheartening. But somehow, Liberia, we're so resilient. Even to our own detriment, we're resilient. We just pick up from there. We kept moving forward. We kept going to school. High school open, went to school. The walking hit Montreal. We sat at home. The first internal government came to Liberia, IGNU, Internal Government of National Unity, and the ILA, the Internal Legislative Assembly, they came. They were full of the progressives. Bako Matthew, Amos Sawyer, those boys came to town. They couldn't do much. That time, they don't come Montreal was from Port River, Carway, Mount Barclay, Shuffling, Montreal, the operating area there. And you go outside that area there, you likely run into ambush. But we move forward, right? We survived that. Octopus came, October 15, I believe, 1992. Schools closed. I think school closed for like 4 months. School opened again, went back to school. We're just resilient. April 6th, after Charles came to town. Then we had elections. Charles Taylor became president. And then we saw more fighting. We saw Charles Taylor leave. We saw it once again, another transitional government. And then we birthed what some people like the term the Third Republic. The United Party government, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Ellen Johnson was not a stranger to Liberian politics. As far back as 1979, she worked at finance with the Tory government. She was part of the progressives after 1980. She ran for senator of Monserrato in 1985. She won. And she refused to take her seat. She insulted the president. She was charged. She was found guilty. She was imprisoned. She was given clemency. She apologized. She was freed. And she left the country And next time we saw Ellie or after the war. But anyway, so we had Unity Party. Then we had CDC. Now we get Unity Party. Here's where we are. Our nation. We have had our own trauma. But somehow, some way, we survive. We move forward. We move forward. We have healed. We have cut open wounds. We have healed again. We have cut open wounds. And we are once more trying to heal. We are once more trying to heal. We are coming to the top of the first hour. We talked about, in brief terms, the history of our nation. So I want to hear from you all. Okay? I want to hear from you all. First, I'm going to reiterate the two questions I asked, right? And at Tucson, I believe you wrote them down, right? So the first question was, what were President Todmon's last words?
Before he passes on.
Yeah. And then the next question was, this rest that we call Pusawa,
Yeah.
where did that name come from? Pusawa. Okay. So those are the two questions. You can answer either or. If people answer both of the questions, I will ask the last question. If they don't, then we'll leave on those two. All right. So, Tucson, please, let's open the lines. Let's hear from our people. And if you want to add anything, if you answer the question, first answer the question. If you answer the question, then you can add your independence message, okay, to Liberia. But first, you must answer the question. When you miss the question, you're going, we're not wasting time on you. Tucson, go ahead.
All right, listeners out there, you had Michael Padmo. So we got two questions for you to answer. So number to call and be part of the platform this evening, 0777 959 959, 0777 959 959, or better still 0881 871 670. The first question, what was Todman's last word before he passed away? Last word, the last word. Okay, we get the first person here. Let's talk to you. Good evening and welcome.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. I've been a giver according to Cowen. I want to answer the second question.
Okay, the second question, happiness. Go ahead.
Yeah, the war puts out on the $30. Then the meaning of Pusawa is Papa rest.
No. That's not correct. Our system is there.
All right. Okay, we switch to the next person. Good evening and welcome.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening. Your name?
This is Harris Malwa.
Okay, Molba, go ahead. Two questions. Which one are you going for?
Yeah, the second question has which has to do with the
Pusawa.
Pusawa. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Pusawa is Pele language.
Okay.
And which means is a measurement vessel that it was used only for when you measured copper rice inside for it measured 30 pounds. So this side that they used to go Firestone, and Firestone came to ship bread on the workers. But when you go to the rice, you measure that cup of rice inside, it will be 30 cups. So that's how that rice was named Pusawa. I received my Pusawa. This I was named.
Okay, we'll give him that. Yes, we'll give him that one. Okay, so that one has been answered. Okay, Pusawa. Yeah. 30 cups.
Okay. Say your number,
Harris Malva from
Okay.
Principal.
Harris, Molba.
Yes.
You got his number, right?
Your number?
0770
Yeah.
55
55
63
63
24.
24.
Yes.
Okay. Okay,
Thank
Harris
you.
Molba. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. So number to call 0777 959 959 0777 959 959 or better still 0881 871 670. The second question has been answered, so we remain with one question. What was the last word of Tubman before passed off? Okay, we go to the line.
Morning. Hello.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Yeah. Hi, come on.
We are good. Thanks for asking.
Okay. My name John.
Okay.
The second question.
The second question has been answered.
The second question is
Pusawa.
Usaba.
Yeah, the answer here already.
Okay.
So
All
go,
right.
so go for the first question.
The second question.
The first one,
Yeah, the first question.
the last word of Tubman before passed off.
Well, it finished.
You say what?
Finished.
Finish.
Okay, finished.
So Padmo.
No, we said Tubman, we not say Jesus. Tell him.
You miss it.
No, man, you miss it, Chief. You miss it. I don't eat it. But let's try.
0777 959 959 0777 959 959 or better still 0881 871 670. The Pusa question has already answered. So the question now on board is, what was the last word of Tubman before passed? Before Tubman died, the last word we say. Yeah, so 0777 959 959 0777.
I knew that was going to be a hard one for a lot of people.
Okay.
So let me expand on the Pusawa one.
Yeah, the Pusawa.
Get the pause. Then I'll give the answer for the Tubman one. Okay.
Okay.
So yes, the gentleman was right. When Firestone came to the country, Firestone needed manpower.
Okay.
Before Firestone came to Liberia, people used to plan their own rest. I made my own farm. Tuzon, you made your own farm. You plan your own rest. You grow it, you harvest it, you put it in your kitchen. And you eat your own rest. When Firestone came, Firestone started to take all the farmers that used to plan their own rest and bring them on the plantation to work. So that created a problem. If whole day.
Okay, pardon me, let me hold you there. We got
somebody? Go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Francis Boyman from Matari.
Okay, the first question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Come back with a question.
The last word of Tubman before he passed off.
Let God be with us.
No, they're not. Sorry, Chief.
Sorry. Let God be with us. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Good try. So once they brought all the farmers in from their small farm there to Habe, to Tab Rubber, they said, "Bonnet, how will feed the people? The whole day they tapping rubber, they didn't get time to go play rest." You would think, I mean, they play with Edna, we say now 2026, right? So we're looking behind. That when the well making say that Monday morning quarterbacking. Yeah. After when Lone Star play and if they finish beating Lone Star, the next morning, everybody know how Lone Star also win that game. Everybody know. Yeah, that man just will hit that ball to the left. When that man hit that ball the right hand side, yeah, the keeper save it. Everybody know. Yeah, because you're looking behind. Today we're sitting there looking behind. When Liberia is faced with such a problem, right, that you have people that need to be fed, you would think that the Liberian government at that time would have taken advantage and introduced commercial farming to Liberians, right? Instead of subsistence farming, where you feeding yourself, you grow your own rice, they would have put Liberians together into communities and say, look, we have thousands of people that need to be fed. So instead of just planting small rice behind your, in your village to feed yourself, we want for your village to get together and plant massive farms. And when you cut that rice, you just bring it straight to Firestone. Firestone will buy it from you. Overnight or in few planting season, we would have created millionaires. But we did not do that. You know what we did?
No.
The same question that we're doing today. That is the same question that we did back then. We turn to the concession and say, you must feed the people. You know how when B. Martin come, we say B. Martin say, yeah, say, you must build clinic, you must build hospital, you must build road. And the same thing we did back then. We told Firestone, that your problem, now our problem. You must feed the people. Firestone, they didn't come to feed people. Firestone came to play rubber. So you know what Firestone did? Firestone turned to American farmers and said, look, that rice where you can grow, the surplus, the one that leave over where you can sell it to us for cheap. We'll ship it to Liberia and we'll feed the farmers. And everybody thought that was a brilliant idea. 100 years later, people still bringing rice on ship. Before Firestone, rice did not come to Liberia. Liberia used to ship rice to Europe. We used to export rice to Europe. Firestone showed up here and we started to import rice. 100 years later, we are still importing rice because our government was not far-sighted enough to say, no, you will not import rice into the Green Coast. You will not. You will, right here, we will plant our own food, we will feed our own people, we will turn Liberians into multi-millionaires. If we had started to feed our own selves, 1922, 1926, today, 2026, we'll still be feeding ourselves. The rice riot was never going to happen. Think about it for a second. But that's what happened. And so Firestone imported rice into the country. So all the farmers stopped growing rice. And the rice was plenty. So I feed myself, I feed my family. The bottom one I sell it. If I sell it rice to John, why John will go in the house and go play rice? John will just eat my own rice. So instead of the rest just feeding the Firestone worker, the rest started feeding the entire country. Usawa rest. 30 cup. 30 cup. Usawa. 30 cup. Right there. When they dip it one time, like correct 30 cup. And we still stuck today. Usawa should not be a name that enlightens us. It should be a curse upon us. It should be something that when we say it, we should remind ourselves, never again as a nation. Never again. The next concession that come to our shows, we should never ask them for anything. You come here, you want to dig diamond, you want to dig gold, you want to dig iron ore, you come, you will pay us our true price for our material, for our minerals. We will decide what to do with our money. If we want build school, we will build school. If we want build road, we will build road. If we want build highway, we will build highway. What we want to do, we will do it because we know how to do it for ourselves.
So, Padmola, go to the phone line.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. I call sleep off. Go ahead.
Okay. And so that's the story of Pusawa. So Pusawa should be a reminder to us. Never again should we allow ourselves. We should stop telling Golden Horizon or B Mountain or anybody else to build road, to build school, to build clinic, to build hospital. Give us the money. Our mineral, yes. Yeah. We'll sell it to you. You get all the money. We'll build our own schools. We'll build our own clinic. We'll build our own hospitals. We'll build our own roads. Because we know how to build that road. I hear people complaining about how they call it people in Lima there. Oh my God. I mean, I stay enjoying the 26. My brain in reach here. When I own company in Lima County, man, I hear the people still complaining. Oh, they get the people living in container, and they were supposed to build the road from. You got somebody?
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah. Your name calling from where? Welcome.
I'm calling from St. Paul Bridge.
Okay.
That's Kabali. That's.
Oh.
And my own answer to that is Tubman never left any last word because he was very unconscious. And, you know, when V.S. Tubman did not leave any last word because he was very unconscious. And, you know.
Yeah. No, that is not correct. That's not correct. Nice try though. Nice try. I said good try, but that's not correct. That's not correct.
You say?
Stop quick, and now you got somebody else.
William V.S. Tubman?
William V.S. Tubman.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's why I said that you could try, but that's not correct. He did leave
Only
last words.
Talking about I go to prepare, but William V.S. Tubman did not leave any historical word because of unconsciousness at the London hospital at age 75.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. He tried, but that was not correct. So what I will do, people later that one whole people anyway. I will see if I'll come out. I'll post the last question, but I'll give the answer to one VS Tubman. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing with Pusau people. So don't ever celebrate Pusau. Don't celebrate Pusau. See Pusau as a reminder that we can no longer do that again, right? We can no longer import help. Like, bro, get everything you need. We just need to invest in ourselves. We need to invest in ourselves. Now, I will give the answer for the William V.S. Tubman.
Okay.
Every time I see President Weah, former President Weah, and I see Kalasco, it reminds me. Tubman had a similar setup. There was a gentleman called Jimmy Barrow that was an aide to Tubman. Everywhere Tubman went, Jimmy Barrow was there. He never had any special appointment, any special job. He was just Tubman aide. Just see Kalasco. When you see Weah, you see Kalasco. That Jaha, when you see President Tubman, you see Jimmy Barrow. That's how they were. They were stuck together. That was President Tubman's confidant. That was President Tubman's aide. That was President Tubman read him in. President Tubman trusted Jimmy Barrow when he left. Jimmy Barrow was present in the hospital room when President Tubman passed.
Okay.
Jimmy Barrow told the story of President Tubman's last words. As a young kid growing up, November 29, which was Tubman's birthday, Jimmy Barrow would recant the story. You know, he would retell, not like he pulled it back, but he would retell. He would retell the story of President Tubman's passing. So this answer, this information is based off of Jimmy Barrow's own words. Okay? And so according to Jimmy Barrow, so the first thing we have to know is that President Tubman was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Right? And for people who are not medical people, prostate cancer, it can make it hard for you to pee. Make it difficult for you to pee. And so laying in a hospital bed in London, our great president, William V.S. Tubman, after 27 years, his last words were, Jimmy, I want pee. Those were President Tubman's last words, according to Jimmy Barrow, because only two of them were in the room. Okay? Jimmy, I want pee. And as a young man, I remember this word because you know when people when you think about the last word of a president, you would think about something, you know, momentous and no. It was just the words of a man, of a man, of a common man. And what stuck with me was that this man who people had made statues of, people that had named highways, buildings. I mean, everywhere you take, Dortmund. When it all came down to it, his last words were just basic, normal, simple, common human words. Jimmy, I want PP. You know, it taught me a strong lesson that no matter where life takes you, remember yourself. Because in the end, whether you Tottenham or you just a common man walking the street, forgotten, at some point in time, you become just another man, a simple man, a common man. And that's why I learned from that. Okay? Now, some people might have different stories of it. And that's why I decided to give you the background so you can understand. I was not there. And this is not, I'm not quoting. Okay? These were the words of Jimmy Barrow. And Jimmy Barrow would tell this story every single year, Tottenham birthday. ELBC would interview him and he would tell that story. Okay, and I remember that it was something that burned into my mind as a young man, you know, growing up. Like, you know, always remain humble, you know, even as you grow through things, always remain humble. Because in the end, you know, this man, 27 years, he could order any amount of money under that bureau.
Somebody's on the line.
Okay, great.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I started attempting on that Topman's last word.
Okay.
And when I said that he never left anyone because of unconsciousness.
Yeah.
Because the way the question came, it was not like according to Jimmy Barrow what the Topman say.
Hey, man, can't lawyer.
Things like law history, we need to keep doing more by writing the history. There really be somewhere that our children will be found in the history. And you said, according to Jimmy Barrow, what was President Topman's last word? That argument would have been laid to rest. But what was Topman's last word when we know that he became so unconscious? Now, he got 75 and he died at London's hospital. Then it means we need to do more with our Liberia history. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. But you will not get up. You try. But I thank you for the effort. Thank you for the effort. I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. Okay. I appreciate it very much. It was, you know, look, the reason why we come here is because we want to engage the audience, right? We want to make sure you guys are paying attention. So for calling in, I appreciate it. You know, you guys did very well with that one. It's a hard one. And you notice the people that were calling, they were not young people. You know what I mean? I expect that. But these are stories that need to be told because our young people need to learn this. You know, these are the things that they need to learn, so that, you know, I wasn't alive when Tubman died, but the story was told, and I learned it as a young man. So now I'm telling it as, you know, as an adult, so that other young people listening can be able to follow along and get this. But yeah, great guys. So Harris won. At the end of the show, Harris we'll reach out to you, and you will receive your $10 data, or however you want to spend it. That's fine. We'll put the $10 on your phone, and then you can spend it the way you want to spend it. Okay. But
the last question.
You guys won't go back. We'll get to the last question. Okay, we'll get to the last question. But let's keep going, people. Okay. Yeah. Because we have to talk about where we are currently.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of people. I started this show talking about how a lot of people were celebrating. You know, Liberia, Monrovia. You saw the put to SKD yesterday. Poku. You know, Buchanan on fire the weekend again.
Buchanan is locked down.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a great thing that the president did. I encourage him to do that. Many presidents before him have done the same thing. I believe it started with Barclay. Tubman did it for many years. Talbot did it, and Samuel Doe did it. Whether it was their birthday or whether it was Independence Day, they took it outside of Memorial. But it was well planned. It took actually an entire year to plan. They will build places. They will build places for the government officials to stay, for the guests to stay. They will build, it will be used as a way to help develop the area. Okay, and that's what it was used for. And every year it was a different city. Ganta, Saniquele, Tuzon, Hapo, you name it. The president would designate and say, look, next year for Independence Day or for my birthday or wherever celebration is, we're going Kolahun. Now you know you got to host the president in Kolahun. You got to host the vice president, the speaker, the deputy speaker, the pro tem, the chief justice, the whole Supreme Court justice bench, the security forces, the people, the government, the minister, and coming there. You got to host all the people. So you see people will be building motels, will be the road. You got to face the road at the first thing. So the road all the way to Kolahun must be made, must be fixed. Because the president coming next year there. And that's how you saw development push like that. Push. When we started the OAU, the OAU was not birthed in Monrovia. The OAU was signed in Saniquele. Can you imagine? They signed Monrovia and said, we'll go Saniquele. Now you know very well that Saniquele, you got to face the road. You go Saniquele, you're not walking. But those were the things that they did, Those were the things that they did to help spread, decentralize, spread the investment. We're not just facing road in Omatari. No, we're not just doing that. So I see the president has talked about they want to complete the road to Ravsport. Mr. President, please, I know, you're United Party, but you're not in my business. That's okay. But please, let me offer this. Next year, July 26th, please, let's celebrate it in Ravsport. Let's go on the lake. Let's celebrate on the lake. We're already building the road, so the road will be finished. We just got to get on it now and go Ravsport. If you tell the people of Ravsport today, July 27th, that next year, July 26th, will come in Ravsport, they will start preparing now for y'all. They will prepare now for y'all. And the development that's supposed to happen in Ravsport will happen in Ravsport. It will happen. But anyway, so here we are today. Okay? We see a lot of people celebrating. Some people are not so happy. What we're celebrating for? And they have genuine concerns. Right? Our healthcare system is struggling. JFK is not doing well. Let's be honest. Education is struggling. I was in Liberia a few weeks ago. I took a ride up to Todi. Go see government school in Todi. No flow. I say no bench. No flow. The flow that clay. No flow. This is Monserrado County. Go Bento. Within a week. The capital city of Monserrado County. Go there. You feel weak. I'm from Cruzacville. You got to pass through Bento to get to Cruzacville. So every time I go Cruzacville, I go through Bento. But if I say, go see Cruzacville, they say, oh, you're talking about, so go see Bento. See it for yourself. So I understand why some people are not happy. Let me tell you the story of the Capitol building that certain portion of it lays in ruins, burnt. Today, up to today, we still have not found, we have not apprehended, we have not concluded, we have not sentenced, we have not punished, the people who burned the Capitol building. Most of the development that happened in Liberia in the last 40, 50 years happened with loan. You know, the usual corporates, the IMF, the World Bank, the African Union Bank that joined the group, right? They gave these predatory loans with all these attachments to it. It's like you marry a woman and she get all the attachment behind it. So all your in-law they come in. All your in-law they come in. These are the loans they gave. They'll say, oh, we're giving grant, 20% grant, 80% loan. You know? But you get so much attachment to it that they hook you. Most of the investment in the country today, that's where it comes from. Most of the buildings, government buildings that you see that are being built, it came from loans. The Capitol building was not built on loans. It was not because of lack of effort. The government reached out to international banks and said, look, we've built the executive mansion on Capitol Hill. Now we want to erect a house for the legislature. They were rejected. People say, we're not giving you nothing. $5 we're not giving you. You're not paying for the executive mansion yet. Don't want to give you more money. We're not doing it. You think we came home and we sat down and said, hey, the people said, I'm giving money also. And I would just manage some kind of way. I don't know, maybe we'll divide the executive mansion. No. Your Liberian leaders did not do that. They came home, they looked at their budget, they looked at their finances, they looked at how much the government was spending versus how much was coming in. They did their math. And they came up with their own money. The government of Liberia raised money within Liberia. The thing that Burkina Faso is doing right now, we did that thing a long time ago. Your leaders did that many years ago, decades ago. And we built that Capitol building with Liberian money. $5 were not from loan. No IMF, no African Bank, no World Bank, no American loan, nothing. Go and read your history. We built that Capitol building with our own sweat, as we can see. The Capitol building, why you boy? You see, all the buildings around there, all the buildings were built on loans. The only building that was not built on loans, that were built 100% Liberian owned. We collected taxes, we sold resources, and we built our own Capitol building. And we dedicated it, paid for, signed, sealed, and delivered. No loan on it. You're taking your profile to it. So when other people say they're not happy, you can't blame them. You can't blame them. We couldn't hear yellow machine. They bring a yellow machine in the country now. Where they They park everything. They sitting and park. They're asking for $53 million before they can put key inside and start it. Can you imagine? $53 million. How much are they looking for before they can start it? And some people not happy. You can't blame them. Our president told us children will not be selling between cars. You went Montreal today? Because the last time I went Montreal, my charger for my car charger spoiled. Guess what I bought my car charger here? Right in front, Ministerial Complex. From one beginning, I was selling between cars. I bought my car charger from. I came by the last time I went in bakery to buy bread. When I come in, I get my bread in the morning. I can buy my bread from children selling between cars. This is where we are. So whether it's healthcare, education, and then we add to it the drugs. Look, I've heard a lot about drugs in the last 14 days. Oh, the drug cartel, the Colombians, the this, the that. What are that? 90 million? What are that? 300 million? You know, it's funny. They caught 19 million. My United Party friend is saying, no threat. CDC 100 million. The reason why we only caught 19 million is because we're fighting the drug thing. You know, God. God a funny man. Yeah. Go in there too much talk. God they put 3 million outside and say, hey! Then they couldn't talk again. But I have not been swayed. I'm one of those people. I have not been swayed by the whole drug thing. And let me tell you why. When we talk about drugs, my greatest concern are the Zogos. These are our future. The drug that they're finding today in Liberia ain't got nothing to do with Zogo. Let me repeat myself. The drugs that are being found in Liberia today, they're fighting drugs. It has nothing to do with Zogo. The drug that the Zogo taking in, they're not the drug they're finding. So that means the Zogo still get access to a drug. That means while we're running behind Colombian drug, the drug that creating Zogos in our country is still in our country, still creating Zogos. When the last time you heard about, there was a drug boss of Kush. They can't find Kush. Cocaine, they can find. Kush, they can't find it. Zogos in Liberia are not being created based on cocaine. They are being created based on Kush. When we'll start to find the Kush. Because when we start to find the Kush, that's when it will affect Liberia and Liberians. That's when we'll really start to fight the war on drugs. That war we're fighting now, our war. That war we're fighting right now is Europe's war. That the European people war we're fighting. That the American people war we're fighting. We're not fighting the Liberian drug war. Because the Liberian drug war has nothing to do with cocaine. It's Kush. So for me, I'm not swayed by that. Hey, look, you catch cocaine, going to Europe, you catch it, whatever, all right, fine, whatever. But one will catch the Kush in. One will catch the horse where they can keep the Kush in. One will bring the Kush people outside. What time that won't happen? Because that's the one that's killing our youth. And I'm cocaine. That's not cocaine. So for me, that's what because when I go to Liberia and I listen to other Liberians talk, when I listen to friends talk about their children, when I listen to neighbors, colleagues, raise the concern about their young children that they're raising. They don't talk about cocaine. They don't talk about drug cartel. They don't talk about Europe. They talk about Kush. They talk about Zogo. That's what they talk about. When we'll start fighting that other war, because that's the war I'm interested in. That's the war I'm interested in. Yes, it will not be 300 million. It might not even be 19 million, but the lives it will save will be of more value than even $1 billion. It will be of more value if we can save our next generation, because they're worth more than 300 million. So there you have it, people. That's why you see some people not happy. How about you see some people not happy? But let's talk about our future. Where we intend to be. I mean, we're 179 years behind or now. We're marching diligently to 200. Diligently. We're marching to 200 years. What do we hope for that period? What are our aspirations? I will encourage the government one more time. The first one I asked the government, I say, next year celebration, the one you take to Buchanan, please. The next one you take it to Royal Sport. Please, you take it to Royal Sport. I don't want any praise for you. I don't want ownership. That's my idea. You're just taking care of it. That's all. The next one, the government needs to come up with a 20-year plan to take us to 200 years. This government, today, need to come up with a 20-year plan that will take us to 200 years as a country. Healthcare, education, roads, the economy, poverty, you name it. Develop it, put it together. Government, that continuity. Tomorrow when you go, we'll pass it on to the next one. We'll demand that thing where when one party come to power, they bring their own agenda. Then when they leave in the other party come, one group kind of say they want how you call it. Then the next group kind of say they bring rescue. Then they go after that kind with their own. No. Put together a national plan. Invite other leaders to join you. You see, because when everybody come together and cook the food, it doesn't matter who to the hub will say eat the food. So if Unity Party government include the CDC, include the ANC, Liberty Party, movie, you name the group, right? ACO, you bring all these people together and you form a national plan for the next 20 years and say, these are the things that we're going to work on. These are the check marks. These are the things we're going to accomplish along the way. These are going to be the building blocks. It doesn't matter who wins election 2029. Liberia will continue to march forward to that drumbeat that we can all be proud of and say, look, we hit 200 years. But we're not just good in age. Look, this is what we achieved in education, because 20 years ago, this is what we came together. We sat down and we played. Let's be honest. Let's be real here. Many people that were us today will not be with us 20 years from now. It's just a fact of life. I spoke to a colleague of mine before coming on the show. She lost her brother. He was younger than me. So when I say people will not be around 20 years, I'm not just talking about old people, because people say, oh, you're picking for the puppy. I'm not picking for the puppy. There are young people too who will not be around. Let's do something today that tomorrow Liberia can benefit. Mr. President, please invite national leaders. Start working on a 20-year plan. When we go Rouspo next year, unveil that 20-year plan. Let's call it 200. 20-year plan. Bring everybody together. Let's develop it in the next few months. Unveil it. Next year, independence in Rouspo. I will not do that Rouspo business. Okay? Unveil it. and see, even tomorrow when you gone, we'll still walk behind it because the vision will have been sold to us. And nobody will come and spot that vision. When you can't, you pick up the kinja, you carry it. Where you want to carry it? When we tell you put it down, you put it down. Next person pick it up. The only thing you can do is, the only permission you have is to improve upon it. But you're not changing it. So there you go. We can do it. Countries all over the world have done it. America is not great today because they just woke up one morning and they were great. No. They had these planes. They came up with these planes. They walked behind it. So it doesn't matter who was president, they were still walking behind it. When America decided they wanted to go to the moon, it's not one president carrying to the moon. Go read your history. When America decided they wanted to go to the moon, it's not one president carrying into the moon. No. But it was a national call. So when one president moved, the other president can, he pick up from there. They're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. But that's what happens when you create national calls, when you create national programs, when you birth national issues, national ideas. It doesn't matter who becomes president. They will still have a small operation on the side that they're working behind. Oh, we'll fit the other road. But that national dream, that dream of age 200, what do we want to see? Can we feed ourselves in 20 years? How about that? Can we feed ourselves in 20 years? What will it take? How much do we have to invest every single year to get to that? Sit down, do the math. Send it to the legislature. Legislator sign it. Goes into law. Every year we must send this amount to the Ministry of Agriculture because by our 200 year, we need to feed ourselves. National is written into law. It goes forward. But this is how you change the country. Every government account, you count your own acronym, rescue, you count with how they propo, you count. Look, you can have those little things, but we need a national plan that transcends governments. This talk will say government continue to go. It's not just talk. It's a real life thing that needs to happen. Okay? But this is how you get there. So let's not be angry with the people who chose not to celebrate. They have valid reason. For those who chose to celebrate, go ahead. We have reason to celebrate. When Liberia was founded, who you think outside of Liberia thought that Liberia would be around 179 years later? Who thought that? No black boy know what they're doing. You not see any black person run country before. The boy know how to run country. They know how to do that. And so for every single year that we come to this point of July 26th, we show to those who doubted us so many years ago that we're still here. We're still pushing forward. It hasn't all been fanfare. It hasn't all been smooth, but we have never given up on our determination to govern ourselves. So every year, you see when I talk about Kinja, when Liberia decided to govern itself, not all the way around. People that came before us saw it and they carried the Kinja. And when they could no longer carry the Kinja, they put it down. And we picked it up. And now we are carrying the Kinja. And we must carry the Kinja until we can no longer carry it. And then at that time, we'll put it down. And we must trust We must trust that there will be others that will come after us, that will pick up the kinja and carry it to places that we never dream about. We must. Because to think otherwise is to let all those people that came before us, that gave the ultimate sacrifice for us to get to this part. Think about it. Think about those people that gathered together on that fateful day and put together a declaration of independence. Think about it. No computer, no internet, no Facebook, no TikTok, no Instagram, no radio. They came together. They said, let's do this. At any moment after that declaration, France and Britain could have gotten together and invaded the whole place and taken it over, care by them, and then declare part of Guinea and Sierra Leone and be done. They said, we'll declare self-governance. Yes. At any time, Guinea could have gotten there and say, oh, you see what the people want to do? Let go finish your people. They could have done it. But even with that, they still declared. And don't think that those things were not threats. Those were real threats. Okay? Those were real threats that happened where the Liberian government and Liberia, as we know it, were threatened. Liberia was threatened by Great Britain. Liberia was threatened by France. They were threatened. But they never gave up. They never ever gave up. Okay? They kept pushing. They were brave enough. They said, come what may. Come what may. We'll form our nation and we'll stand on it. And the Declaration of Independence is quite lengthy. Okay? But there are a few things I wanted to mention. Okay? And it's important that I mention it. It's important that I mention it because some people have told our story and they've left some parts out. When I was growing up, I was told many times that people, they sell lucky on the ship, they sell a phone government, and they sell a rule over certain people. It wasn't until I was old enough to research for myself, to read for myself, that I was like, ah. But when I read the Declaration of Independence, the seller, the only they're talking about the sale, they talk about their native brothers. That this was something they did together. So let me read a part for you. I will read the last 3 clauses, okay? Our numerous and well-attended schools attest our efforts and our desire for the improvement of our children. Our churches for the worship of our Creator, everywhere to be seen, bear testimony to our acknowledgement of His providence. The native African bowing down with us Let me repeat that part again. The native African bowing down with us. They not say to us, say with us. Before the altar of the living God, declares that from us, feeble as we are, the light of Christianity have gone forth. While upon that curse of curses, the slave trade, the deadly blight has fallen as far as our influence extends. Therefore, in the name of humanity, virtue, and religion, in the name of the great God, our common creator, we appeal to the nations of Christendom and earnestly and respectfully ask of them that they will regard us with the sympathy and friendly considerations to which the peculiarities of our condition entitles us, and to that community which marks the friendly intercourse of civilized and independent communities. And that's how it ends. That, I will encourage people to read the Liberian Declaration of Independence. To read it, it's a speech. It's not just a short list to do, it's a speech. Okay? But it touches on the life widespread across Liberia. Okay? But it's interesting thing. You learn a lot from the people who authored it, what they were thinking at the time. Let me read one more quote for you. From time to time, our number has been increased by immigration from America. That means that people have been coming and joining. From time to time, our number has been increased by immigration from America and by accession from native tribes. That the Congo people talking now. They say our number been getting more and more. We'll be increasing in number. Two ways. The first way, people have been coming on ships, right, to add to our number. But that's not the only way. There was another way they listed. They said, and by accession from native tribes. They say our number been getting plenty two ways. One, Congo people coming on ship, but that's not the only way. People from native tribe have also been joining us. So we have 10 minutes. I will give this last question. And there's the last question I'll give. If Tuzon can come back, please. I will give this last question. All right? If Tuzon can come back. So we just waiting for Tuzon. Tuzon come out, we'll get there. Okay? We took a quick break. We'll call. Okay, great. There's the question I'm going to ask. Before 1980, and this question, if you can answer this question, it will be $20. $20 will send to you. Before 1980, what was the highest position in government that a native man in Liberia had held? Before April 12, 1980, what was the highest position in government that a native man had held? What was the name of that native man? And what was the position? $20 tonight, if you can answer that. Before 1980, April 12, 1980. Because we know April 12, the highest position held by a native man was the chief of staff, head of state, right? Before that day, what was the highest position held in government by a native born man? What was the name of that man and what was the position? please announce. We have 10 minutes. If you can answer
Yeah.
it, you get it.
All right. So number to call 0777 959 959. You're listening to Michael Padmo. You said before April 12, 1980. Padmo, are you getting me?
Yes, I'm getting you. Before April 12, 1980,
80. Okay.
what was the highest
Highest position.
held in government
Before-
by native born men?
Okay. Let's go to the line.
So,
Hello.
yes, percent to be correct was what? Or Master Sergeant Whether the same Samuel can do.
No, that's not it. That's not it.
That's not it.
And this was a civilian position. You were not army man.
Okay. So you make it clear.
You were not army man.
So Padmo,
The highest position in government held by a native born man
Native man.
before 1980.
before 1980, April 12.
So there you have it, people.
We got 9 more minutes. So you have the opportunity now to call and win yourself a prize. 0777 959 959 0777 959 959 or better still 0881 871 670. Before April 12, 1980, what was the highest position in government owned by a native man? The highest position. Okay, let's go to the line. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah. Your name calling from where? Welcome.
I'm Isige Major calling from Central Virginia.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, before 1980, the higher position native men ever had is one of the giving men, they call him Arabuno.
What position?
You getting me?
What was the position?
Arabuno was the Minister of State.
All right, but that was not the high. Yeah, okay.
Doe could take over. So when Doe took over now, he started chasing them. In fact, two of the eminent like Gizi were there. For you to do this satisfaction with them, he started torturing them, doing his leadership.
Okay, let's take more answers.
Okay.
That's not correct, but let's take more.
No, you miss it. Okay, we'll go to the next person. Good evening and welcome. Your name?
Yeah, good evening.
Your name calling from where? Welcome.
And my name is Arvin Dara and I come from the UN draft.
Okay, before 1918, April 12, 1980, what was the highest position in government owned by native man?
I think the higher position we're discussing the presidency will be the highest position. It was Toba. From Matt to Macra, it was Toba.
Okay. All right. Yeah, but Toba was now a native born man. So it wasn't Toba. But good try. But Toba was not a native born man.
Toba was not
native, but his father was not a native born man.
Okay, we'll talk to the next person. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Your name calling from where? Welcome.
My name is Moses. I'm calling from Morovia.
Okay, Moses, let's go. The highest position before April 12, 1980.
His name was David F. Do, Education Minister.
Okay, yeah, but that's not correct. Good try, but that is not correct.
Okay, so to the next person. Good evening.
Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, your name calling from where? Welcome.
Yeah, we are calling from West Point.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, the highest native office before 1980
Yeah.
was the native man of head name was Joseph Baga, Ministry of Agriculture.
All right, good try, but that's not correct.
Good try, but you miss it.
That's not correct.
All right. So number to call, we got 5 more minutes. 777 959 959 0777 959 959 or better still 0881 871 670 are the numbers to call. Okay, we go. Let's talk to you. Good evening and welcome.
Hello. It was Charles Taylor. Yes.
No, you're not correct. Charter became GSA after 1980. Charter,
It's April 12 before 1980. Before. Not after. I said before 1980, April 12. What was the highest position in government owned by a native man? 0777 959 959. 0777 959 959, or better still 0881 871 670 are the numbers to call. 077, 4 more minutes for us to say goodbye. 0777 959. Okay, let's talk to this person. Good evening. Your name calling for where? Welcome.
Yeah, so my name is Teddy.
You say Kevin?
Teddy.
Oh, Teddy. Okay, Teddy, go ahead.
So it was Honorable Thomas Wesson who became co-chairperson of our chair of state.
Yeah, Padmo.
Good try, but that is not correct.
Okay.
Not correct.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, your name calling for where? Welcome.
Yeah, my name is Das Cabal.
Okay.
The highest position was the vice president, owned by one Harrington Wesley.
Harrington Wesley.
The vice president position was
Okay.
the highest position.
How many more minutes do we have?
We got
2
3 more minutes.
Wow. Okay. You know what? This is what I would do. This is what's his name and what's his number? Take down his name and number.
Number?
Yeah, your number.
Yeah?
Yeah, your number.
0770
770
78221
785
221.
221. You say your name again? Teddy.
My name is Lisa Nash Kaba.
You say Kaba?
Yeah, Kaba, K-A-R-B-A-R.
K-A-R-B-A-R. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So what we'll do for Teddy Kaba,
Yeah.
we'll give him $10 tonight. And the reason why we'll do that is because he was half right.
Okay.
The highest position held by a native-born man was vice president of Liberia. But that native man was Benny D. Warner.
Okay.
Benny D. Warner was a native man born in a village outside Monrovia. And he was brought to Monrovia by his father to be educated. You know that story where we can tell how all the people can bring another children to Liberia to stay in Monrovia to stay with other people? That Benny D. Warner story. He came Monrovia to stay with relative. But the relative was so wicked to him, he ran away. He went back to his village. A part told him and brought him back again. He said, no, you stay in the village, you will not be anybody. You must educate yourself. When he came back the second time, and his relative was so wicked to him, he ran away. But instead of going back to the village, he went to the church. And 2 missionaries took him in. And they educated him. And Benny D. Warner will rise up to be vice president of the Republic of Liberia. Native born man. Many Liberians do not know this. They hear the name Benny D. Warner and say, oh, that Conga man. Benny D. Warner get an ounce of Conga blood inside him. Not single, not even one pinch or a.
Okay.
That's so I thought I would educate people on that. It's good for us to know our history.
Yeah.
We have a very proud history. We are strong people. We have endured a lot. We have built a lot. We have fallen a lot. But for some reason, we keep getting up. And we keep trying. We just got to focus and try harder. We just got to focus and try harder. So there you go. It's been a great show. For those, the two our winners tonight.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Right immediately after the show, you will be sending your money to your phone. So we now owe nobody will begging you. Okay.
Yeah.
Before you sleep, you get your money. Harris.
So
and then the other one was Kabak,
Alice
right?
Moy-
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So those two. And to all those who did not win, look, you're still a part. This should not leave you. It should not leave you downhearted. It just means you need to practice more on your Liberian history. Learn a little bit more, research a little bit more, read a little bit more. We are interesting people. We have an interesting past, and we are betting that we'll have or even more interesting future. You can't know where you're going, they know where you're coming from.
Sure.
So I'll leave you guys with that. Happy Independence Day. Happy 179 years. We're looking forward to the next 21 years. I will meet all of you next year in Rawa Sport. We'll ball Rawa Sport again. We'll continue pushing this thing until we get to Rawa Sport next year. But have a great evening, Tuzon.
Yeah.
We'll connect after here to complete those things. But
Okay.
thanks for producing. I appreciate you, Chief.
Okay.
Everything you do. And let's continue to pray for Liberia.
Amen.
LIB, stand up. Take me back to Liberia, where the drums still play my song. Take me back to my homeland. It's the place where I belong.
LIB Future TV, giving voice to progressive Liberians, speaking about politics, entertainment, and local news.